So then, one of the Manly whiz kids, Mike Eden, sets this match into motion, and that was a very shaky start by Ian Barclay. He didn't quite know where it was as Les Cleo gets to his feet to play the ball, and taking it up is John Tobin, who today for Eastern Suburbs is locking the scrum. Kevin Hastings captains the side. That's him being manhandled there by Jeff Gerard, and players on the Eastern Suburbs 22. Dave Brown away from Broadhurst, taken by Vaughton, but it's a good run by Brown, ending 32 metres out from the east line. To the right of the field to Rocky Laurie, turning it inside for Les Cleo to gain another 10 metres. Back it comes now to Hastings, and the left foot chip over the top. Weeks indicates that he saw what might have been a late tackle. There's a chance on for the Tricolours. Edie in trouble. No, he's not now. He's got it across the dead ball line, but that was touch and go as Ron Gitto was looking to capitalise and put first points on the board for Easts.
Yes, and it was certainly a good opportunity too, because it took Vaughton a heck of a long time to get to that ball. He had ample time, in my opinion, to cover it, but he allowed it. He was looking for the bounce, and he kept hanging off, and Eastern Suburbs were able to tow it through. It was a dicey situation as far as Manly were concerned, and of course a very important game for both sides here this afternoon. Manly on the string of a 4-game losing trot.
So here's Schubert playing fullback today, and a good strong run met by a powerful tackle jointly from Thompson and Philip Blake. Now Barclay is tackled by Vaughton over the top and Walker underneath. Vaughton, I don't think, is 100%, Keith, and to probably excuse his lethargy there in that earlier incident, I think he's suffering from a knock on the head, and I think there's a scalp wound there too. Very hard to tell with this bright red hair of Paul Vaughton's, but I think there's blood coming from a scalp wound, indicating he's taken a very early knock. Hastings now is taken by Gerard, players just outside the Manly 22. This is the last tackle with the breeze with them in the first half. Eastern Suburbs through Laurie getting it down to Schubert, but that's the end of 6 and a scrum to pack. Eden to work at the penalty, though, before the scrum was fed against Easts for an incorrect pack of the scrum. Hastings asked why as captain. And I'm blowed if I know how referees sometimes make these decisions. They can go one way or the other. I realise that they operate on the first offence, but I maintain very strongly that the sooner they let the two sets of front row forwards arch their backs, lock in, the half should automatically put it in. It's the delay period as those big forwards get in there and entangle themselves and start heaving and grunting and all that. That's when the penalties are brought about, and I do believe that referees should get halfbacks to put it straight in the moment they lock in. McCabe now playing it just on the east side of the halfway. Dummy half is Simon Booth. It's gone out to Mike Eden, now to Alan Thompson. This is Graham Eadie, who had such a wonderful cup final. National Panasonic man of the match that night. Received a magnificent prize from them and Electronic Sales and Rentals. Broadhurst getting rid of a would-be tackle. It's gone through to Alan Thompson, reversed now to Michael Blake. And Weeks is now putting a scrum down, just about 7 metres on the Manly side of the halfway. No score. And here's another penalty against East for the way they packed into the scrum. Hastings again says to Weeks, what's it all about? And Weeks doesn't seem to be taking any notice of Hastings. He seems to be ignoring him. So Eadie now finds touch. 8 metres on the east side of halfway. Krillage takes the tap, uses 2 blindside runners coming from the blind. Gerard now met by 3 Eastern Suburbs players. Broadhurst goes ahead. 32 metres out from the east line. The big men having it at the moment. Here's a penalty right in front of Manly. Hey, Job is giving East a nice carve up early.
Yes, he certainly is, but I'm not surprised at that one because East, of course, they're very, very close to that 5 yards all the time. They're conscious of moving up very quickly and putting Manly under pressure. Manly, on the other hand, they're not inclined to give themselves any depth whatsoever in attack, and at the moment both teams are playing their game very close to each other with neither one giving each other any latitude whatsoever.
So Michael Eden needs only 2 goals to break the club record of 103 goals kicked in a premiership season and currently held by Graham Eadie. His kick straight between the uprights as they normally are, and Manly lead 2 points to 0. But I think even their most ardent admirers would agree that the referee's awarding of 3 penalties has contributed to Manly grabbing this early lead. It certainly wasn't a matter of them being the better football side. So Giteau gets it underway again, and Michael Eden gives it to Simon Booth, who was a little bit confused there for a moment. Booth playing it, and this man is Michael Blake, flung to the ground by Terry Fay. Masterman came over the top. Here's Eden, now Broadhurst. Terry Fay getting in for his share of defence whilst it's on his side of the paddock. Out to Alan Thompson. Jeff Gerard comes on the inside and is tackled 22 metres out from his line. Krilich, the dummy half. This is Goldie Walker. A knock on and a scrum. Just inside the Manly 22. Here's an interesting set of circumstances. If East win the scrum, they got 3 men on the blind side. If Manly were to win that scrum, they had 5 men to 3 on the open side. Penalty differential to East's. Well, at this rate, we're going to see plenty of penalties. That's the 4th of the match. Hastings finding touch for East, torpedoing it with the breeze right behind that kick, just to give you a pinpoint of the breeze direction. It's going into that corner as Masterman takes the kick now. The tap, I should say. The east wall is set up as Hastings delivers it, and trying to break out of the centre was Brown, but he's ruled that it's a Shepherd. Well, I'm blowed if I know what that ruling is. He's ruled a Shepherd. Hastings goes over and says, "What are you talking about?" Hastings never at any stage ran with the ball behind the wall, let me tell you. He never ran with the ball behind the wall. The wall simply passed it along the line. How's that an obstruction? Unless he's ruled a forward pass, or deliberately forward. At no stage was the man in possession of the ball using one of his own teammates as a Shepherd. Vorton hit hard. Masterman goes away with it. Good tackle that. John Tobin was the tackler. This is Laurie. Now Schubert. Now Fay. Straight over the top of McCabe, taken by Mark Broadhurst. Hastings, Laurie, Dave Brown, and tackled 10 metres into Manly's area. Laurie, Giteau, over the top of Krilich, 30 metres out from the Manly line. Good run by Giteau. Hastings, long ball to Laurie. There's an overlap coming. Noel Cleal is tackled though by McCabe and held by Gerard. On the Manly 22, this is the last. Laurie, Fay with it. Oh, Goldie Walker only just managed to get him, and a scrum will go down 18 out from the Manly line.
And Bobby Fulton has certainly got Eastern Suburbs fired up because there's tremendous drive in their attack at the moment. Certainly a very physical attack as far as East are concerned in these early stages.
Schubert in from fullback. Tackled 12 metres out. Laurie to Hastings to Tobin. Tobin tackled. 15 out from the line now. Weeks is calling Manly back outside the 5. Hastings to Laurie. Schubert runs one way, but Barclay can't take it, and Simon Booth has got it for Manly. Manly 2, East 0. Opening minutes of a vital match. Gerard turns it for Broadhurst to be thumped to the ground. Krilic, Thompson, McCabe. Tobin's driving in hard in the tackles. Oh, Giddo had it and lost it. That was going to be most definitely a touchdown. Line drop out to restart. Gee, I tell you what,
Gee, wasn't it a bad pass under pressure from McCabe, though? And that was the one, of course, that went astray and allowed Giddo to get in there very quickly. I thought he had it. And it was over underneath the sticks. And as you said, Ray, it was a certain three-pointer.
The drop out by Graham Eadie, coming down to a former Kangaroo teammate of his, Ian Schubert. He'll play it on the Manly 22. Manly 2, East 0. Laurie turns it across to Harvey. He's lost it, raked it back. Well done. Laurie's got the ball. But Manly, they're not making the tackles effective. Hastings around the back door for Noel Les Cleo. He's tackled inside the 22. Giddo, Hastings, Laurie, run round and dummy, and Laurie's tackled on the quarter-way line by Paul Vorton, right in centre ground. Hastings, I thought he might have gone for the grub kick to the corner. Giddo's got it, and he's tackled, still 20 metres out. Last tackle coming up for the Roosters. Out to Kevin Hastings. Up goes the bomb. And I think you'll find they're all onside. Down off Schubert. Picked up there by Masterman like a thief in the night. He came up with it. 6 more tackles, says the referee. Can Manly withstand the East pressure? Hastings, Laurie, Schubert. Schubert stands. He gets a pass out to Terry Fay. Terry Fay will be hard to stop. He gets a pass away in desperation. Manly have got the ball. Krilic comes away with it. He's lost the ball. East have got it back for another 6 tackles now. Some driving tackling by East. Barclay looks at the line, but he can't get it across. Masterman is the dummy half. East are piling on the pressure. Harvey goes at the line. Gets a pass to Hastings. Out to Schubert. Schubert looks around for the inside runner, but he's tackled 15 out. Kevin Hastings now delivers it for Brown to go ahead. He's held. Pass knocked down by Manly. Schubert looked to be held off the ball. That should be a penalty to East. He hasn't seen it, and he's given possession to Manly. That should have been the equaliser for Eastern Suburbs. That was a kick right in front from 10 metres out, and now we're watching Rebo go away for Manly, 15 metres from the halfway.
And Eastern Suburbs very unlucky to be trailing in this early stage. Penalties going against them. Another one here. As Ray said, I felt that Schubert was held off the ball also. But mainly being forced into a lot of uncharacteristic type handling errors. And it's only that there's so much drive and physical in the Eastern Suburbs defence at the moment. They're very physical. They're hitting very hard. They're not giving Manly any opportunity whatsoever to get into any form of pattern in their game.
Vorton now, and East have come up with it, but the referee has ruled that East knocked it down. Well, he's had a controversial start to this game, Mr. Weeks. Hastings now feeding it. The East pack having trouble getting down. Masterman can't get in. Penalty to Manly. It's because of the front row not packing in, but as that face on Kevin Hastings explains, how the hell do you get in?
Penalty 6-1 in favour of Manly at this stage.
Hastings is mystified by some of these rulings in the scrum from referee Martin Weeks. Well, and I think he's got a lot of supporters outside the fence too who are also quite mystified. Broadhurst.
As captain of the side, he's entitled to ask the question and get given an answer.
But he doesn't look like he's getting an answer, Keith, and all it's doing, I think, is aggravating the situation. Is that a fair comment or not?
Yes, it is.
Manly on the attack, 10 metres out. Gerard will go. Oh, he's put the ball down with the line open, and I'm almost certain he would have gone over with sheer momentum.
Yes, well, both sides have certainly been guilty of some bad handling, and certainly the defences on both sides has been pretty physical, but there's no excuse in situations like that. The opportunity was there, as you said.
East scrum, Tobin. John Tobin, if he could have passed, that would have been the crack that East have been working for. Noel Cleal, 8 metres out, and a penalty to East. Inside the 5 against Manly, and this is the square up. This will be 2-2 now.
Yeah, but the pressure pretty relentless as far as Eastern Suburbs concerned. They've obviously got a match plan of playing up the middle of the map because they're very confident of getting on top of this Manly pack, looking at the way they're playing. The surprising feature is that Masterman at this stage is leading in the scrums 5-1. Penalty still favouring Manly 6-5, but of course Eastern Suburbs have come back now after that initial burst of penalties against them, and even allowing for the fact of Giddo kicking this goal, I think Manly are very lucky to be as close as they are.
Giddo from right in front lands the goal, and the scoreline at the Sydney Sports Ground: East's 2, Manly 2.
Don't worry about it.
Eden's kickoff was touched by a Manly player, and it's going to be a scrum to restart. 15 metres on the Manly side of the halfway. Schubert says to the referee it went out on the full. But the touch judge gave the referee the ruling on that one and indicated that Manly touched the ball before it went over the touchline, and it's a correct ruling. Hastings feeding it. Won by, well, Gerard has come out of the scrum. That's a penalty to East. And another scrum differential goes to East. I don't know whether you gentlemen have noticed, but since Max Krilich appears to have kept his arm in the right place, East have won a couple of scrums.
A couple. It's well, it's 5-1 at this stage, and the penalty is now 6 apiece. I don't think Krilich is anywhere near fit, actually, and I think his general play is suffering as well. He's a bit shaky in defence, which is unusual for him. He's missed 3 or 4 pretty important tackles, and he's obviously carrying that left leg.
Brown going up hard.
He has been taking it up hard. He's made a good inroads each time he's taken the ball up too.
So here's Laurie, now Hastings, Les Cleal. And he did well. Hastings takes it ahead for a further 10. 32 metres out. Giddo calls on him to play it quickly. Sweeps it out to Laurie. Now Schubert goes back inside, and he's tackled by Michael Blake. Dummy half is Jeff Masterman. Now Hastings cutting out Les Cleal, picking up brother Noel. Just out from the 22, 5 tackles gone, and Manly again find themselves back inside their own quarter with the Hastings bomb. Giddo getting underneath it. Oh, young Philip Blake played at it, knocked it backwards, and has possession for Manly. Edie. Gerard. Broadhurst. He's got an East player here for an illegality. Ron Giddo it is. Graham Eadie finds touch just on the Manly side of the halfway. Vaughton, 2 points all, but territorially, East have had it all, and to my way of thinking, have certainly looked the better side. I suppose one has to say congratulations to Manly for their defence, because something must have gone right for them down there. They've had their backs to the wall inside their quarter for the most part, and the scoreline says they're still in it at 2 points all. Kick through for Schubert to dive on. Michael Blake was coming through, or Phillip was coming through fast. Schubert's hurt himself too, I think. Away goes Terry Fay, taken by Michael Blake. Laurie looking for the opening, but Vaughton closes it. Hastings, Masterman. What about Jeff Masterman? He's doing plenty of galloping today. Noel Cleal stepping away. He's over the halfway looking for support. There it is with Hastings. Now Terry Fay. Oh, he got rid of Simon Booth easily. There's probably a question mark on one of those passes, but Fay is in for the first touchdown. And the joy of the Eastern Suburbs fans is fully exhibited over in that grandstand housing the Young Supporters Club. We haven't got it on camera at the moment, but boy, oh boy, it's a sea of red, white and blue. Here's the try. Masterman started it. Noel Cleal bustled his way away from Alan Thompson and then two others. Then to the halfway, his pass to Hastings, then to Fay, and he got rid of Simon Booth and took off with only the referee in sight.
Yes, it's certainly a top try. I had a feeling that one may have come a couple of minutes earlier when East were really putting plenty of pressure on. But as you said a couple of minutes earlier, Ray Masterman's a player that's having a major impact on this game. He's dominated the scrums, and he was the player that sent Cleal on his way. A good tackle from Eadie here, stopped him in his tracks, but of course he was able to pick up Hastings. Back to Fay. He's pushed off Simon Booth pretty easily, as you said, and it's underneath the sticks. Giddo kicks the goal. 7 points to 2, and that's probably a fair indication of the relative merits of the two teams in this first half. You must give Eastern Suburbs, though, in their favour. They've had plenty of possession. They're leading in the scrums 5-1, and penalties after that initial onslaught 7-6. So they've had a string of penalties in their favour also.
World of red, white and blue, and they've got bloody poker-faced people out there. Les Cleal now. 15 metres on the east side of the halfway. Laurie, Tobin, taken by McCabe, who made the switch from East to Manly this year. Hastings turning them around again, finding touch. 34 metres out from the Manly line. East leading by 7 points to 2. Thompson, Blake, the elder of the brothers, Michael it is, who plays it to Alan Thompson. Now to Vaughton, the centre of headlines during the week when it was alleged that Parramatta had made an offer to him on the day of the KB Cup final. I think there'd be more than Parramatta interested in Paul Vaughton's services. Eadie, he's put it down. Giddo's away. Laurie's coming with him. So is Fay. Fay's in for number 2. Well, the much despised centre of 1982, Ronnie Giddo, is having a great game. He's inspired that try.
Yes, a bad pass from Alan Thompson here, though. There wasn't much chance of... Oh, Eadie should have picked it up, I suppose.
Yeah,
yes, he had plenty of time. I'll give you that. I thought he was a lot closer. I thought the East defence were a lot closer to Edie than that shot on camera indicated, and it was a pass that Edie should have picked up. Certainly he was under pressure, but the pass went astray. Giddo was onto it very, very quickly. And, gee, Eastern Suburbs have really kicked away now, haven't they?
Well, you know, the scoreboard now looks more like what you think it
should have been, yes.
You know, because they've had it all. East's Faye's second touchdown. And this man was there, Johnny on the spot, to create it for him. Giddo converts the Faye try, and Easts are leading by 12 points to 2. Restart now. Schubert putting it down to Tobin. Now it's Bowstead. They'll be hard to tidy up from here, the Roosters. They need this, very much so. Brown. What about Max Grillidge's comment in the paper yesterday? He said they're only just aside. Laurie.
T. Barclay was only that half a yard too far up then, otherwise he would have steamed onto that pass from Laurie.
Schubert. Hastings inside him, but McCabe was sweating on the little halfback. Played by Hastings. Barclay runs it. And it'll be a scrum midway between 22 and halfway. Manly's into the ground with East leading 12 to 2. Pretty much the way Eastern Suburbs probably expected it to go, because they said after their encounter at Brookvale that they certainly were the better team. Edie, cut down by Laurie.
But Edie is the player that can really set them alight, because the two Blake boys, they're going to be pretty closely watched by Gitto and Cleal.
Oh, they put it down again.
Certainly running into a string of handling errors, aren't they?
Schubert. Well, you know, when you stop and think of the breaks Noel, Cleal and Ron Gitto have made, there must be a question mark on the Blake brothers. I haven't watched it closely enough to say there's a question mark on their defence, but the point is that Gitto and Cleal have made a lot of breaks. Now somebody's missed them.
Yes, well, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on the defence of the Blake boys at this stage, because a couple of the breaks that Cleal and Gitto have made have certainly been from break and play, and they've capitalised on opportunities that have been created from inside.
So it's with Hastings. A run around on Harvey, inside for Schubert, outside for Cleo. Faye's coming up, he doesn't need him. The big man is in under the uprights. The third touchdown for the Roosters. Oh, what a shellacking. 15 points to 2. Thank you very much for your kind donation.
Well, we're probably looking at something like 15 points in 10 minutes, aren't we?
Oh, this is a blistering performance by the Tricolours.
Probably 6 minutes, and that was certainly some clever work inside there to put Cleal in underneath the sticks, and we'll see it probably better from head on as Hastings gives it. No, Hastings was the one that gave it to Schubert, and Schubert's the one that did most of the work. He's having a very strong game, and then Clealy's able to push off Simon Booth and wrong foot Graham Eadie.
Gitto to attempt conversion of Noel Cleal's try. So here's Gitto. Easy. And it's Eastern Suburbs almost heading for oranges at 17 points to 2. So the second half underway. We were half thinking that Max Krilic might be replaced at halftime, but he's still there and he's taken the bandage off. So Rebo to play it now. He have a funny feeling that's the first touch of the ball John Rebo's had in this match. The clearing kick for Graham Eady now. Straight down to Schubert. And away from Gerard. Picking up Kerry Bowstead. Test winger on test winger, and Rebo makes the tackle. He's hurt him too. Well, you can see with that close-up from our backpack camera that Bowstead has winded himself. He may well have fallen on the ball. Let's have a look and see how he falls here. Yeah, you'll find that's what's happened. He's fallen on a very tender part of the body. So it's Mike Eden feeding the scrum. That didn't get into the tunnel. And I think Jeff Masterman has won this scrum, has he? It's coming out to Manly. I'm wrong. It's out with Thompson to Eady. And Laurie's across in cover. Walker. Gerard now. Through Mike Eden, it's out with Paul McCabe. And Booth has gone without it. Barclay's got it for the Roosters.
Yes, and I would have imagined that Manly coach Ray Ritchie would have emphasised the importance of retaining possession and making sure of their passes. And then, of course, we see Manly come straight out and make one then.
Here's Cleal turning it back inside to Hastings. Barclay, that came off him to Schubert. And so it's going to be a scrum, 32 metres out from the Manly line. Second scrum of the second half. The first going to Manly. Jeff Gerard jogging back to the scrum base. He was receiving attention. He'll pack into lock. No, he's going to stand free of the scrum to mark up with John Tobin, who's also standing out of his pack. Blindside for Schubert. Schubert, oh! Graham Eady just felled him in time for Vaughton to pick him up. It's Schubert, who had a big first half, almost making another break. Laurie switches Noel Cleal inside. He's away from Broadhurst. He's away from Vaughton. He's gone inside a third and picked up by Alan Thompson. Crusher Cleal having a picnic. Masterman to Laurie. Steps off the right. Picked up by Vaughton, got a pass to Masterman. Inside Mike Eden, picks up Kevin Hastings. Out it goes to Harvey. Harvey's pass is on the ground. Gitto's got it for East.
Yes, and it was only a desperate touch there for Max Kulich that saved another try.
Now a penalty goes to East. And it should be an easy one for Gitto to add further points. Mark Broadhurst penalised. So as Gitto takes the kick at goal, Kerry Bowstead is again receiving some attention from trainer Ron Bowden. Gitto's kick is wide. Well, scoreline remains unchanged. East 17, Manly 2. Eady sending it down to Schubert. And he's gone right through them. He's got Masterman on one side, Harvey the other. Harvey's away from another. Down it goes to Hastings. Oh my goodness, this has been some kind of a try, allowing for the shocking Manly defence. That has been a 75-metre try.
Yes, but I suppose it's indicative of the type of effort that Manly are putting into their game. Have a look at the Eastern Suburbs fans in the stand over there. They've been having a very enjoyable afternoon. But have a look at the way Schubert gets between Bruce Walker and I think it's McCabe. bang, just straight through them, and no effort whatsoever. He's able to pick up Harvey. Harvey just goes straight through. Edie bounces him off, picks up Hastings, and it's another 5-pointer right underneath the sticks. And it's little wonder, of course, that Manly find themselves in a position now really on the end of a walloping.
Well, here's the incident, but it was Vorton and Walker. And one of the Blake brothers is also beaten here by Harvey. There it is there. He got rid of young Philip Blake easily and unloaded Graham Eadie, and then on the inside to Hastings. In the meantime, it's been converted by that man Gitto, and East lead by 22-2. Gitto restarts. Down to Schubert. He wouldn't run through them again, would he? He wouldn't dare.
He's going to have a go.
Bosted might. Bosted's into a gap. But if he didn't have to step around the referee, he may have gone on with that. Rebo made the tackle. Les Cleal goes ahead. Tell you what, there's a fair bit of ticky-ticky touchwood tackling there from Manly. I would think that their officials would be very disappointed in their defensive efforts since the 30-minute mark in the first half. Barclay over halfway. Laurie's on his inside. Good thinking by Barclay not to pass, because he was about to sell Rocky Laurie one heck of a dump. Hastings, Gitto, Noel Cleal, plenty of depth in the back line. Inside for his brother Les, and to ground. Midway 22, halfway, Manly's end of the ground. East's 22-2. Gitto, Hastings, cuts out Laurie. Here's Schubert again. They're never too old, and Bosted flies for the corner. Get a traffic cop. This is all one-way traffic now. Get somebody to direct this traffic.
How sweet it is as far as Eastern Suburbs are concerned, and Schubert is certainly having a picnic out there this afternoon. And it's been a long time since he's played in the fullback spot, but he certainly charged onto that pass. And have a look at the way he positioned Boosted. A perfect pass, and Edie, of course, on the inside had no chance of getting across as the test winger went over in the corner.
Head on.
Very good pass here from Hastings, wasn't it? He's able to cut out the Manly three-quarter line, put Schubert right into the gap, and it's just a matter of a perfect pass to Boosted. What else can you say? It's great football by Eastern Suburbs. They're playing with a ton of confidence. Why wouldn't they? They're leading by 25 points to 2.
What you're looking at is not a game of 2 up. A very concerned Manly bunch of players. Gitto's kicked it from the touchline. Rubbing salt further into injury. They're making it sting now. 27-2. Fair dinkamus.
There's a few of these Eastern Suburbs players enjoying it too. Certainly John Harvey is. He's getting around telling the Eastern Suburbs forwards, come on, we've got 27 points, let's get another 27. If you look at the statistics, you see that they've scored 5 tries in the space of 15 minutes.
Eden's kick-off. Les Cleal's got it. And held by Krilich and Walker. Tobin. You know, this is an awful thing to say, but I've got to say it. If the Eels wanted to, they could very easily play Manly out of the top 3 tomorrow at North Sydney Oval. They wouldn't do that, though, would they?
They mightn't have much say in it.
Bosted.
Because I think that's going to be a ripper at North Sydney Oval tomorrow between North Sydney and Parramatta. North Sydney with a ton of confidence, unbeaten at home, should be a record crowd. I think you're doing the game too, aren't you?
Hastings kicks ahead, looking for the touchline, and finds it 10 metres out from the line. I was thinking of doing Cronulla and Illawarra.
A lot of people have said that that this Manly side, of course, are very brittle in the forwards without Les Boyd, and certainly they'll get a lot of support after their performance out here this afternoon.
Walker now. Edie. Krillage. Broadhurst. Thompson. McCabe. Walker. Vaughton. It's not knocked on. Schubert's with it. Draws them and gives it to Bowstead. Stands or tries to stand them up. Will play the ball 2 metres into Manly's territory. Hastings. Barclay. Turns it inside for Laurie. Laurie gives it on the inside for Gitto to juggle it. Now he goes ahead. Eden's across and gets him just outside the 22 line. Dummy half Barclay. Hastings. Here come the Roosters again. Coburn. Just inside the 22. Now it's Harvey. No, it's not. It's Brown. 15 metres out from the Manly line. There's a couple of East supporters giving vent to their feelings below us. Les Cleal, John Harvey, Kevin Hastings, a floating pass to Barclay. Steps, and Barclay's going in to score. Another try. 30 points to 2. Oh. Get us a cricket commentator. Get Richie Benno and Alan McGilvray here. There'll have to be a declaration of this innings. They'll have to send them in again, I would think. This is a complete massacre.
Yes, but Les Cleal is the player that Manly are having a lot of trouble with too, because he's able to stand in the tackles and get his pass away, and another top pass over the top from Hastings. And Barclay showed some good footwork, didn't he, to get inside the Manly defence and then back out again. It'll look good from head on. Have a look at Les Cleal, the power of this man. He's able to stand in the tackle, get it back to Harvey, to Hastings. Hastings lobs one over the top to Cleal. He comes back inside Horton, back outside again, and goes over in Edie's tackle. He's a very talented youngster.
Well, you can say what you like about the Manly defence or lack thereof, but I guess you'd have to agree you've seen some spectacular tries in this telecast today, and Gitto has got that ball on a string this afternoon. What's that, 7 out of 8, Tony? And there's your scoreline, 32-2. Broadhurst. Well, there's nothing to tell you how close to the uprights they are. Long ball from Eden, knocked down by Bowstead. Scrum to go down 15 metres out from the east line. Incidentally, I know he's playing in a winning team. I think Kerry Bowstead has emphasised that he's a long way from finished as Australia's #1 wing three-quarter.
Yes, I have to agree. He's taken the opportunities that have presented himself. He's hasn't had too many clear ones because he's been pretty closely watched by Rebo. But each time he's had the ball, he has made good ground. He's come inside a lot. Rebo was elected to try and take him towards the touchline. He's coming off that right foot of his and made good ground each time.
This man's had a good game too. Rocky Laurie to Hastings, now to Warneke. 32 metres out, more than that. Eastern Suburbs in possession. Dave Brown. Brown picking up Barclay inside Vaughton, outside to Gitto now. Away from a feeble attempt at tackle. 5 metres into Manly's area. Gitto to play it.
Actually, the two Eastern Suburbs front rowers Brown and Harvey, I feel, have completely blotted out Broadhurst and Gerard out there this afternoon. They've been a real powerhouse in the front row, and they've been certainly Manly haven't contained them at any stage.
Laurie, Les Clear that is, down to Laurie, around to Harvey. Harvey's had a big game. Schubert can't get it. Rebo's got it. And is away from Masterman, away from Warnicki, but here comes Bostad. Bostad's got him. Manly's penalty. He's inside the 10, surely. It's another penalty. Correct ruling by Martin Weeks.
And he's another player that's had a strong game out there this afternoon, is Masterman. He's won the scrums 9-6 and got through a ton of work in general play.
As a matter of fact, if you started singing the praises of Eastern, you just can't stop.
You can't.
Laurie.
Conversely, it's very difficult to find a Manly player that hasn't tarnished his reputation.
Harvey sweeping it for Gitto to give it to Masterman to draw Vorton and send Barclay down the right flank. Now to Bostad, inside, Barclay still got the ball. It's with Warnicki. It's gone on to Kevin Hastings. He's like a shag on a rock. He's run out of supporters. There's Barclay, picked up by Harvey, give it to Hastings. On it goes to David Brown. He dummies to Laurie, gives it on to Les Cleal, up to the 22, back to Rocky Laurie. They're going to score. Oh, that is a superb try. That is probably the best try I've seen. Schubert has scored it. That's probably the best rugby league try I've seen.
Yes, I'd certainly have to agree with you, Ray. And it'll be interesting to note how many pairs of hands this goes through as you count them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There goes the football team. We've gone with 13, 14, 15, 16 sets of hands as Ian Schubert scores the try of the year. Oh, was that a super try?
Or was that a golden try?
Well, if Tynan Motors have a spare Volvo, I'm sure they're prepared to give it. The trouble is we haven't got 16 of them.
Yes, it was certainly a super try, wasn't it? And when things go right for any team, they certainly look good, and things have gone right for Eastern Suburbs here this afternoon. And there's a lot of people worried, a lot of teams that are in the 5 worried that Eastern Suburbs are the team to beat if they make it. Well, yes, certainly they've got every reason to worry, because the effort and the performance out here, both in attack and defence, has been superb.
Oh, have a look at this try. It is a beauty. Dave Brown, fancy Dave Brown having the audacity to start throwing dummies. Dave Brown has never played so confidently, but look at this man, Schubert. He's had a super game, Schubert. Anybody want to be a man of the match, Judge? I sure would like to give it away today. Well, what's the score now? Has anybody got a calculator? What did you say? 37-2. Dave Brown again up the middle. Hastings. Warnicki. Picking up Schubert. Picking up Bostad. And he's got it on to Warnicki. Out to Les Cleal. Over to Dave Brown. Brown said, I can't run anymore. Inside to Gitto, and he's dropped it. Oh, what bad play by Eastern Suburbs. Fancy dropping the damn thing. Les Cleal and Dave Brown had the unfortunate experience of the ball coming to them that time. You can see it written on their faces. They're saying, let's get out of here. We're not meant to do this much work. There's that bozo Fulton. I'll bet he's got a smile on his face like a split watermelon. No, he's still got a... He's still sullen-faced. I've got him in the binoculars. I thought he'd be smiling, bozo. Vaughton knocks on. You were talking about, Keith, when things start going right for a side, they normally continue in that vein. Well, Manly should know about that, shouldn't they? I mean, they've had a couple of magnificent KB Cup matches where everything went right for them. And so I guess they realise now what it's like to have everything going sweetly for you, and East have got just that happening today.
Yes, but I like the way Eastern Suburbs went about the game in their match tactics. They elected to take Manly apart in the forwards, and their big forwards, they concentrated on defence, and there was plenty of physical work going on. And when they took the ball up, they took it up strongly. They brought Fay into the attack as much as possible, and they really took Manly apart with the big men doing much of the work. And of course they were able to capitalise then in the second session. They didn't get to the front until the 30-second mark when they scored their first try from Terry Fay, but since then we've really seen a superb exhibition from Eastern Suburbs.
Barclay's put it down. Simon Booth with it for Manly. 37-2. Eden. Oh, this will be another try, possibly. No. Gitto put it over the head of Bowstead, who's got the ball on his own, on Manly's 22 line. Laurie. Dummy half is Kevin Hastings. Warneke to Gitto. Gitto. Oh, Schubert was going to be horribly hard to stop. There's a young guy below this broadcasting stand. He's never short of a line. He's now telling me that I should give 13 Man of the Match awards, and I tell you what, I'm not prepared to disagree with him. The only thing is, I guess the sharp people would object if we did.
Alan Thompson leaving the field for Manly. Martin Meredith taking his place.
The penalty to Manly. Edie finding touch. Broadhurst right on the halfway. Gerard, Brown, he's put it down. Hastings turns defence into attack. Warneke. John Harvey, a long ball out there for Barclay. Fay now. Hastings, Laurie, Schubert. And that ball has gone out of the reach of Bowstead, and so it's a scrum to go down just on the east side of halfway. Laurie turning it inside, sending Gitto up the centre. Out wide is Noel Cleal, up to the 22, and picked up in cover by Paul Vaughton. Terry Fay's looking for his third. Turns it, forward pass I thought, but Gary Warneke picks it up, scores the try. Martin Weeks gives the try, and East have reached 40 points now.
Yes, well, what can you say about that one? Cleal, of course, was the player that came onto the pass and made the strong burst, and Fay, of course, was very heavily committed too. Cleal was the one that took it up originally to get into a situation where he gave the pass back inside to Fay, and we see Fay running from dummy half. He gets away from Edie, and he was easily picked up Warneke. I should imagine that the Manly boys now would be waiting for this full-time hooter. It's been a tremendous performance by Eastern Suburbs, and one that should bring a smile to the face of their coach, Bobby Fulton, but just spare a thought for the Manly coach, Ray Ritchie.
So the scoreline goes 40 points to 2. That's the way it reads out. Disaster day for the Eagles at the sports ground. So here comes the 22 restart by Masterman. And Rebo tackled 15 out. Vorton on the deck. Harvey has it for Manly. And it's with Hastings now. Warneke goes out towards the quarterway line. Hastings unloads to Schubert. Tackle on the quarter. Here's Brown, who's had a big game. Les Cleal, Noel, is it Les or no? It's Noel Cleal. Oh, bumping run. He's got Warneke with him, but he's run away from him. He's picked up Kerry Bowstead. Here's a chase. Bowstead on the inside for Warneke. That's been knocked down by Manly. 6 more, but Warneke is now knocked on himself. Let me quickly read through these statistics because it looks like a serial, really. Fay, 2 tries. Noel Cleal, Kevin Hastings, Kerry Bowstead, Ian Barclay, Ian Schubert and Gary Warneke tries. Gitto, 8 goals from 10 attempts. Mike Eden, just that lone penalty goal. Scrums at the moment are 10-8 to Eastern Suburbs. 10-8 the scrums to Easts, with Mike Eden playing it inside his own 22. Penalties to Manly 13-8. East have made 18 errors to Manly's 15. And Ray Brown is put to ground now, 34 metres out. Jeff Gerard. Here's Meredith with McCabe now. Tackled by Kevin Hastings. Meredith. And that's the end of 6 and a scrum to pack down. There's the siren. Mercifully, it's over for the Eagles. The man on the scoreboard, I think, would be nearly as tired as the players. 40 points to 2 in favour of Eastern Suburbs. An absolutely brilliant performance by Easts. A most disappointing performance by Manly. They just didn't have an answer as Easts carved them apart with 8 tries and 8 goals. Keith Barnes in the dressing rooms now with the man of the match.
It was a tremendous performance by Eastern Suburbs, and as you can imagine, the man of the match award was extremely difficult, but Ray Warren has come up with you, and I certainly agree 100%. How long is it since you played in that fullback spot?
Well, I think it was 78, Keith, the last time I played, but I think it was just that the side played exceptionally well today. And even though we did come up with a couple of drop balls, our defence was basically very strong. And, well, it must have been I was playing fullback and didn't have to do a tackle. And our running in attack was very good and very solid. And we seemed to be making a lot of yards through the forwards, through Dave Brown and John Harvey. And big Les Clear were just going exceptionally well, so everything was just plain sailing from the back.
Well, you must have been getting it easy because you tagged on to the end of 16 passes there before you went in under the post. That's one of the most sensational tries I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was certainly something to finish off, but there was plenty of work done in the lead-up work to it, and it just happens that I was on the spot there, right under the post.
Well, Bozo thought he had a problem in the fullback spot. Well, you certainly solved that today. What are the chances of Marty Gurr coming back?
Well, I spoke to Marty just before the game today. He's walking back on his leg now. He could be back in a couple of weeks, all depending on how it improves, and but I'd imagine he won't be back for next week down at Canberra. It's too cold to come back from injury down there.
Well, you must be keeping your fingers crossed, of course, for Kangaroo selection, because you have represented Australia at fullback, on the wing and in the centre. You've had a great season as lock, and your versatility would be very handy on that coming tour.
Well, thanks, Keith. I wish you were one of the selectors, but there's plenty of games to go yet, and I think as the teams that miss out of the semi-finals will probably have their players have less chance of making the side. So the main thing we're doing now is getting right into the semis, in which we have to win next week, I think, to do it. And I think if we're in there, I think there could be quite a few of the East players in there. I think Kevin Hastings is proving it week after week that he should be the halfback to go. And I think with Royce and Dave Brown firing, I think we could have quite a few on there.
With that fabulous win by Eastern Suburbs, I apologise to Ray Ritchie and the boys down at Manly having to put you through it again. But to Bobby Fulton and the boys at East, congratulations on a magnificent win and a great service, really, that you've done for rugby league. And I guess those critics who maintain there's no such thing as open rugby league anymore will be sent back to their burrows rather quickly. Eastern Suburbs, absolutely brilliant. And as Keith Barnes said during the commentary, there are so many teams up in that top 5 hoping that they wouldn't make the semi-finals. Now they face a reality. Eastern Suburbs most definitely are there and possibly could go on and make the top 3. That's what comes out of it more so than anything else. Manly, if they lose to Souths and if another couple of results happen to go a certain direction, then the Eagles would be out of the top 3. And who would have thought, say 7 weeks ago, that Manly and Souths wouldn't be in the top 3? It's quite a crazy 1982, isn't it? But good, real good fun. Keith Barnes went to the dressing rooms after the game and he caught up with, I was going to say a happy Bobby Fulton, let me say a happier Bobby Fulton. He also talks to Ray Ritchie.
Well, Bob, a couple of months ago it seemed like something of a dream that East may make the semi-finals, but 7 wins out of the last 8 matches, and it's become a reality, and that was as good a performance as anyone could expect out there this afternoon.
It was very decisive, wasn't it, Keith? I mean, from the outset, we were very aggressive in our attitude towards Manly, and it obviously paid dividends.
Well, I haven't seen a more purposeful forward display. Obviously, you felt that that was where the weakness in the Manly side was. Maybe the statements attributed to Max Krilich had a lot to do with it, but you certainly took them on in the forwards, and there was plenty of power both in attack and defence with your boys.
We've got a big pack, and they're very mobile when you look at the likes of Brown, Harvey, Cleo, Barclay, Tobin, and backed up by a good little hooker who just keeps on going, and Jeff Masterman. I think, you know, we had their measure today, and the scoreboard indicated our superiority over their forwards. I mean, but then again, it's a 13-man game, and probably one of the players that I was most pleased with today was Ian Schubert's fullback display, and you being a former fullback would have to appreciate the good work that he did coming into the line at the right time and offloading passes. And I was very, very pleased overall today.
Well, Ray, that's, 5 defeats on the trot, and I suppose you'd have to say, as far as Manly fans are concerned and the Manly club, it'd be disaster day, because I can't remember a defeat like that.
Now, that's the worst defeat I've ever been associated with, Keith, as a player or a coach. You know, taking no credit away from East, they were superb, by far the best side we've played all year.
Well, they certainly gave a great performance out there. I thought that their match tactics indicated they were going to take you on in the forwards. That's what they did. And I thought a few of your players came out with tarnished reputations.
Well, we had an international pack in there today, Keith, you know, and if you don't tackle, then you don't win games, you know. East won those first 6 scrums. They had the ball control. They're a disciplined side, far better than us, and they deserved all the accolades for what they've done. But as I said before, coming back to that international side, if you don't tackle or have ball control, mate, then you may as well not be on the park.